Hello YouTube, Vlogger Nerix Rants here, and this week I'm making a video answering some questions posted by Lizz Reptile on the Orlando attack. She made a video on it. I'll show her question in this video, then I'll answer it. That's how it's going to work. I'll also include timestamps and the original video if you want to watch them. With that, let's begin.
First off, why are some media outlets, politicians, and even individuals not wishing to call this a terrorist attack, regardless of the attacker's outright admitting that he was doing this in the name of ISIS and other such organizations?
I think it may have something to do with the fact that the only other act of terrorism that has occurred in America in the last 15 to 20 years is 9/11, where over 3,000 people died, either directly or indirectly. And that has become some kind of marker for terrorist acts. It also appears that others are confused about definitions. I personally think that it is both a terrorist attack and a hate crime at the same time. That might be another thing, is that some people think that an incident like this can be either a terrorist attack or a hate crime, but not both. Anyway, next question.
Second, why is it wrong to point out that this man was gay and that he more than likely this fueled his fire?
I don't know why this is bad. Homophobic faggots exist. I don't understand why people fail to see this. I could cite several people on Right Wing Watch blog who are likely homophobic faggots. You know who I think is to blame for the idea that it is wrong to point out he was most likely gay? Both the regressive left and the far right. Remember the horseshoe video I made a few weeks ago on the radical feminists and the far right. And don't worry, Liz, I'm a bit confused by these two. Anyway, next question.
Why is it wrong with pointing out that this, religion is so toxic that it looks like it, as sympathy killing to other Muslims? Bonk. Why is pointing out another horrible thing other than just plain old terrorism a wrong way to analyze this?
7 words. The regressive left and the far right.
Why is it all about guns or video games? Never about the person that did, the horrible thing or their motivations.
The sheer number of mass shootings in America. I'll leave a link in the description to give you guys an idea about how many there have been in America just this year. The other problem is that the only groups that are talking about the religion are the theocratic right, the Donald Trump supporting right, and the regressive left. Well, and me in this video. In terms of guns, it's a lot harder to kill a lot of people with a handgun than with an assault rifle. With the religion, yeah, radical Islam played a role in this terrorist attack, like you've mentioned earlier in this video and I've mentioned previously. But nowhere else in the first world has a mass shooting a day occurred on average. Nowhere. And by the way, in this interval, I do disagree on a couple of things Liz said. First, I don't know of any people who say ban guns. That is a straw man I've heard so often. Anyway, a gun ban, a literal gun ban, would be impossible in America because of the Second Amendment. And there are no countries in the first world that I know of that actually bans guns. The closest one is Japan. Secondly, the man who attacked the politician also stabbed her as well as shot her. And even if there had been laxer gun laws in the UK, that would not have stopped him. The poor politician stood no chance, and the perpetrator likely would have been killed had the gun laws been laxer. Instead, he's alive and we may be able to learn about his motivations. I'll leave a link in the description to an article about this.
Why can't we just look at this from the real motivation or real causes? Which brings me to my next question. Why, after all this has happened and keeps happening, are we as people, as concerned individuals, not allowed to criticize Islam or Muslims?
You're right that the regressive left is not an answer. It's part of an answer. But the other part of it is that the media never does its fucking job anymore.
Last question, I swear. And this is the smallest question, with the longest answer. More than likely, it will be the longest answer you guys give. How do we solve this? I have no answer to this question.
You're right, this is going to be a longer answer, so let's get into this. Firstly, and most importantly, get the fuck out of the Middle East. The leader of Al-Qaeda said that if the West and Russia were to leave the Middle East tomorrow, Al-Qaeda and ISIS would turn on each other and start killing each other. I'll leave a link in the description to that as well. Secondly, the first part of gun reform is to make background checks universal. A nationwide ban on civilians owning assault weapons, better mental health screening and treatment. These are the things that the majority of American people support. Also, I would say make a deal with people that they can't refuse. A gun buyback, where people can give assault weapons to the government, they don't get charged with any offence for having those assault weapons, and they get a major monetary reward for handing the guns in. Then the government destroys the guns. That way, there is a dent in the 300 million guns present in America, and hopefully less people die. It's worked in Britain, it's worked in Australia, and I do believe that it will work in the US. Just to give you an idea about the difference in the attitude of gun violence in America versus Australia. In America, these mass shootings happen every day, yet nobody hears about a lot of them. In Australia, every time a gun is used in a crime, it's news. Every single time. I'm not even kidding. Every single time. Every robbery, every murder. Hell, murders involving guns are almost always headline news in Australia. But as to anything else America could do to stop this outside of that, I have nothing. Sorry. I can't think of anything else. But anyway, that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a response to an Islamic apologist coming up next week. So stay tuned to that. Provided I don't wind up with 10 screen caps of the Drunken Peasants podcast screen caps for episode 10. But that is very unlikely. Please rate, comment, share and subscribe, and have a great day, everyone.